And we've said a little bit about control objectives for information and related technology. Now, what about the IT infrastructure library? Would you like to hear a little bit about that one?
Sure.
Alrighty. Well, you know, this particular one, I would say this is best practices for IT service management and operations, such as service desk, incident, change, capacity, service level, and service management. This is also very popular in Europe. This actually is sponsored by the United Kingdom. So it's a very popular practice there. And if you're going to Europe or you're going to be doing business in Europe, this will be very good to have, and you want to be familiar with this particular method. Now, the strengths of this method is that it's well established, mature, it's detailed, and focused on IT production and optional quality issues. It also can be combined with the CMMI to cover all of IT. Now, with that, and those are very positive attributes, it does have its limitations. It doesn't address the development of quality management systems. It's not geared to the software development process. Use is, highly dependent, on interpretation, and every particular, user or however it's going to be integrated or applied, that particular interpretation may be different from another one. So it has its strengths, it has its pros, but there are also some cons to it. But hey, if you're going to do a trip to London soon, I'd definitely consider it. Now, let's move on to Six Sigma, which I'm sure you've probably heard before. And this is also very popular, and a lot of companies out there use this. Let me tell you really what Six Sigma is. It's a statistical process improvement method focusing on quality from a customer's use or user's point of view, defines service levels, and measures variances from those levels. Projects go through 5 phases in Six Sigma. Define phase, measure phase, analyze, improve, and control. The design for Six Sigma variant applies this method principles to the creation and defect-free products of services rather than the improvement of existing ones. Now this is great, and it wants you to get to almost 100% without errors. Now, there are strengths to this. The strength of Six Sigma is that this is a data-driven approach to finding the root causes of business problems and solving them, and it's also very efficient. Takes into account the cost of quality. In IT, best applied for relatively homogeneous, repeatable activities such as call center or help desk operations, also assembly line and automation processes. Design for Six Sigma can help develop good software specifications. Now with that, there are also some limitations. Originally designed for manufacturing environments, may be difficult to apply processes that aren't already well defined and measurable. If you haven't measured it before or really haven't given it an aspect of what of the process can be measured, you might run into some problems with Six Sigma. But it can improve a process that doesn't tell you if you have the right process to begin with. That's just one limitation of it. It can improve a process, but it doesn't tell you if the right process is already there. It's sort of like if it's not broke, don't fix it. It would be easier if you knew it was broken. And Six Sigma doesn't go about defining whether it's broken or not. You just kind of implement it as it is. And you can kind of take that here or there. It's also an interpretation as well. So, but Six Sigma is very, very popular, and a lot of people do use it. So we've come down to our last one, and I hope I haven't bored you too much. Have you found any of these quality methods interesting, sir?
All of them, actually.
Okay. Well, the last one is ISO 9000. Okay. Now, this is an international standard. It's global. It goes across many member countries. And the standardization is consistent across all those countries. This is a set of high-level, customer-oriented, auditable standards for quality management systems. It's intended to ensure control, repeatability, and good documentation of processes. Okay? Now, that's the process, not anything in particular. It's not a tangible necessarily a tangible item or a tangible product that's produced. It's more, ISO 9000 is the process by which you go by. Okay, one of the strengths of this, it's well established, it's mature, it enjoys global prestige. You can go around the world and they know what ISO 9000 is. Can be applied enterprise-wide. Can cover software development and IT operations and services. So that is very much a strength if you're in the IT industry. Now with that, every method is going to have limitations. The limitations are it requires considerable adaptation when used in IT organizations. Focuses on repeatability and consistency of process, not directly on the quality of those processes. Not good for analyzing a process and finding root causes of the problems. So it's good for some things, and the good thing about it does go across the board, and it's international, and it has a lot of prestige, but it also depends on what you're going to be using it for. If you need that analytical process for finding root causes, you might want to consider a different quality method, but it's also very effective and used internationally. Okay, well, sir, what I talked about were mainly, the 5 major quality methods. We've gone into a little bit of detail on each of them, but it really depends on your company, what your company's aim is, what your company's goal is, depending on which one you want to use. Some are good for the process or the product, and also some are good, for integration and application. It just depends on your company structure, what type of business you're in, and what do you think is going to be best to implement what all companies want, which is more efficiency, speed, and of course profitability. That's always going to be the basis of any successful company. So with that, you have to kind of look at it and decide and determine which one's going to be the best. What I like to say is it's been very interesting for me to look into all of these because it really gives you a basis and a background for knowing what it's going to take or what you have to implement or what you have to use in order to get to a certain particular point. What I do like about really all of them is that it gives you that structure. It gives you a reference. It gives you something to say, hey, this is a defined process. Let's give this process a try. Let's go with this in order to progress our company and get to the point of where we want to be. So, with that, I'm fortunate to have the chance to be able to research this and look into this and also present this to you. And I hope that you can take some of this and make a great decision and make your company be whatever you like it to be and very successful. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Blackman.